Awesome. So we are here with Joey from Timber Works. Joey, I appreciate you being here. That's first of all. Want to be able to hop on this meeting. Honestly, just have a really good conversation with you. We've been working together for a while now, and I think it's important for us to be able to just chat about how we started working together. What success you've seen thus far, who you are just as a person and as a business person, and maybe some future plans if you're able to give some sneak peeks to everybody, especially locally around you. So again, bro,
Wait,
thank you for being here.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Perfect.
so
So
I'm
go
yeah,
ahead.
so I'm Joey Trego. I am in northern Minnesota, town of Bemidji. It's kind of central in the northern part, so from west to east, pretty central, kind of the go-to area and the surrounding areas. About 15,000 people. Um, it's nice country up here, kind of a destination for outdoor recreation, whitetail deer hunting, some bird hunting, fishing, a lot of lakes around here, land of 10,000 lakes. Um, it's not a bad place to be. Depending on what your goals are in life, there's not a ton of local industry, can be a little bit more on the seasonal side of things, but if you ask me, there is not a better place to be in the summer on the lakes out here.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's where we're at, northern Minnesota.
So what's a big thing to do in northern Minnesota? I think a lot of people I'm sure that are going to be watching this are going to say, well, what do people go to northern Minnesota for? And what would people travel there for if you had to say?
You come up here to get away from people, if I'm being honest. I mean, a lot of people come here and like, man, there's nothing to do. I'm like, well, it's not Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Los Angeles or San Francisco. You got to have a little bit of imagination. So, snowmobiling is huge up here. And then, for, ATVs, side by sides, big deal up here. Tons of trails, little lakes, a lot of lakes you can't even get to by car. So, you might be taking a side by side out or a four wheeler or something of that nature to get to some of these beautiful places that you never even knew existed. So that's a pardon me. We live right on a lake here. The town is kind of around a lake. You have this area that's called the waterfront. They usually have stuff going on throughout the summer. We got the county fair. There's a, water park festival. They have art in the park. A bunch of artists come. It's, pretty locally orientated. Lots of little bars and grills here, restaurants on the lake. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's not like this is some um, like Michelin star place. I mean,
You're
it's not, but
traveling
it's
back
it's
in time a
very,
little bit, probably.
yeah, maybe we'll touch on that later. Um, yeah, so it's a little bit old school here, but you know what? It's really nice to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle sometimes. I lived in California for a year, worked in the oil fields. Time definitely does slow down here, but it's for good reason, depending on, what your expectations are in life.
Love it. So I mean, let's touch on that a little bit. So obviously you weren't always just the guy that does forestry mulching, and obviously I'll let you sneak peek another service that you're introducing to your local area.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what were you doing prior to forestry mulching? That way, like how'd you get your start just in the professional world in general?
So, being northern Minnesota, like I mentioned, there's not a ton of industry up here. My my dad, he was a welder for, you know, 20 years. Stepdad was in the welding world.
Just makes sense.
What do you th- you know, it just kind of makes sense at this point, especially
Yeah,
when
yeah.
my stepdad, his whole family business was around, the welding industry.
Yeah.
Um, and that was a mile from the house I grew up at because I had to, live with my mom and stepdad. Long story. But so got out of high school, and I'm 31. So got out of high school, did landscaping, worked at the airport in town, just fueling airplanes, washing rental cars, and not a bad job, just getting out of life or getting out of high school. But it's like, you know what, I kind of want to step it up a little bit. So went to work at the my stepdad's shop, or well, the place he had worked at for what now 30 some years. work there, kind of got my hand into a little bit more skilled labor, a little bit more of a, gopher, as they say in the shop, do a little of this, do a little of that. I'm 18, right? So I did that for a few years, and I wasn't well connected.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what? I was doing a little bit of welding here, a little of this, a little of that. Like, well, I'm going to go to school for welding, make some more connections, just get better at what I do. Can't even begin to tell you how many people made fun of me. Oh, well, you're going to go to school for something you're already doing right now. I'm like, I just felt that there was something greater for me beyond the horizon. And so
Yeah.
I just had faith. I went for it. I wanted to get into equipment operation, but I couldn't wait for 2 years to get into school for it. So I went for welding. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to make money now. So I got a job, did a bunch of stainless welding right out of college. And then my sister, she lived in California at the time. She's in the Air Force, wanted to get off base, but as we all know, cost of living is really high. My now wife, she was going to school at the same time, and when she got done with college, I'm like, you know what? Let's go to California. Well, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
We knew the cost of living was high. I mean, we all know what the politics are like. Traffic sucks, but if you know that going into it, I mean, it was a great time. I was
Yeah.
there
You already
for,
set your expectations.
oh yeah, absolutely. I think that goes with anything in life, but
Yep.
so I was there for about a year doing structural steel. I was making more money, but I wanted to get into piping. And then again, I didn't know anybody, but there's some people out there that, we could probably turn this into 8 hours of just me talking about all these little stories along the way, but I'll paraphrase this. I had just met some people out there and they gave me the shirt off their back, really took a chance on me, long story short, met some people at a gym I went with there, tried to get a loan from a bank, and they were going to help me unload a welder on the back of my truck. I'm like, I don't worry. Well, I got you. So this guy I just met at the gym loaned me a few $1,000. I went and got a credit card, took a cash advance, and paid him right away. Just the kind of guy you didn't want to owe money.
Yeah.
Want heart of gold. But I'm like, you know what? This guy's got arms the size of my neck. Um, you know, we're not even gonna go there. Help me out, and then I found myself in the oil fields in North Dakota. Talked to a guy on the phone for about 10 minutes. I'm like, heck with it, I'll do it. So quit my job, packed my stuff up into my little Toyota Tacoma and left my now wife out there. I'm like, well, I'll be back when I can. A month and a half later, came back. We moved everything back to Minnesota. And so yeah, I got into, specialty welding, gas piping, crude oil stuff. So, oil and gas industry, of course. I was out there for 2 years, and then COVID happened. Uh, you know, Here's another long-winded one, but went from there down to Minneapolis, St. Paul, got into oil refinery, so more specialty welding, and then life took me up to the Duluth Superior area, and was in an oil refinery again there, and that was the last time I really welded was there, and that was a little over a year ago. So I got into welding, and here I am now, I guess, in a long roundabout way.
Oh yeah. Okay. So obviously there was a time where you started getting into forestry mulching. I'm on I know this, but the viewers don't know this
Yes,
part-time.
right, right,
So
right.
you started as, everyone would call a weekend warrior. So how did that start coming into play of you starting to do these side jobs?
So we bought 80 acres. I'm we've all probably heard this story before from other folks, but 80 acres, and I'm just looking at it like, well, I have a side by side. I can't even use it on this property. It's just so unmanaged, old farmyard. So I mean, it really needed a lot of love. So I bought a skid steer, and it was wheeled. It worked as good as it could. I'm like, I need something with tracks here. So got something with tracks. And I'm like, well, always wanted to get into equipment, right? So I ended up getting a brush cutter for our own property. I'm like, well, I mean, maybe like everyone else, I started on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh yeah.
So I put an ad out and I did a job. And I think the first job I did, it was, I don't know, it was like a $900 job, cost me like $500 in repairs. So, I mean, with fuel, all that crap, I mean, I didn't make a blink of money. Um, so I started doing that on the weekends and, a 74 horse skid steer with a brush cutter. It works until it doesn't. I
Yeah.
mean, I was taking out trees this big and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing what I want to do. So I got a bigger machine. I ended up buying a mulcher. I'm doing this stuff on the weekends and yeah, first job with that. Yeah, it was like $2,000 job, polished off about $1,000 worth of teeth in 2 hours. That hurt. But kept on going along and it's something I always, kind of wanted to do is be in equipment. And I just kind of kept going and going. And then I just kind of getting burnt out and tired of my day job. I mean, because and keep in mind these little jobs I'm going out and doing, more often than not, I was working 6, 7 days a week. Usually when I was working 7 days a week, every 14th day I'd get a day off. Well, I'd go out and work and lose a bunch of money and then go back to my day job, lick my wounds and take a break from life basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just kept trying to do more and more and more. And I just thought that there was more for me beyond the horizon, as always. And then it just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I just felt like I was at the edge of a cliff. And it's like either I'm going to jump and figure out how to fly, or I'm just not going to do it at all. Because I got 3 kids. My oldest one is 4. She's going to be 5. And I got a stay-at-home wife. I was just at that crossroad to where I knew if I didn't do it at that point in time, I never would.
Yeah. 100%. Okay, cool. So like that segues us perfectly into how we met. Now, obviously, we won't say
Yes.
any names of companies out here.
Right.
We don't give anybody free promotion outside of our own. Um, but I would love to get into the story to give people some insight as to how we met each other and how that, business relationship bloomed into then obviously what we have now, which is a great friendship as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's story time, guys.
Here we
So, I
go.
mean, if you don't have a cup of coffee or something to drink, this is the tale to be told. So, we'll we'll go to the very beginning. We are in this day and age. Maybe this is short-sighted, to older folks, maybe that did business in a time where everything has evolved so much, and even since we've started working together, I mean, it's ridiculous. But I'm sorry, but doing it the old-fashioned way, word of mouth.
Yep.
If you were to do that for 10 years to get to where you wanted to be, and then there was some guy that did it with some organic media, Facebook page, Instagram, maybe just some local events just for brand awareness, maybe a internet, a website, nothing crazy. But what he did, that same process that you did that took 10 years, but did it in 3. Would you be upset that there's some guy that did it faster and be like, wow, I could have saved 7 years of my life? That's the day and age we're in. I talked to plenty of old timers like, oh, well, I worked hard for 20, 30 years. I'm like, but would you if you didn't have to?
And most of the time,
Not
they're
the
always
working
going to
hard.
say no. Most of the,
Yeah.
because
Well,
and here's a good tip for really everybody. The goal, and I'm sure you could relate to this as well. I know you can relate to this, is you want to start building leverage within your life. At least my worldview is if you're able to work hard for a shorter period of time to be able to build the leverage longer term, then do that. For me, and I know you're very aligned with this as well, you're not here on earth with this one life that you have to work till you're 75, 80 years old. I just refuse to have that be my worldview. So the way I look at it, and I know you look at it the same exact way, is how can we work as hard as humanly possible for this amount of time, whether it's 5, 10, 15 years, be retired with more than enough money to live a beautiful life with your family, and then relax. I just refuse, and I know you do too, to work till I'm 75 years old because that's just the way it is. I refuse for that to be my view on life.
And being young in life, I mean, I kind of have a hard time seeing myself doing literally nothing. I mean, I'll always kind of want something just to kind of keep me engaged and kind of keep me going. But I mean, I'm not talking working 60, 70, 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
But
But that is, I
so like
will
kind
say,
of,
and
back to,
we do need to preface this. That is a requirement when you first get started in business. Were you working 60, 70,
yeah,
80
well,
hours a week when you don't have the skill or the leverage? That is a requirement. And also, fun fact, if you're very new in business, what I would do if I were you, as a quick side note, work for somebody who's successful in business, have them be your mentor, learn the process, and then go out on your own. You're going to save yourself a lot more headache and a lot more, really just save money, save time, save everything. If you're just working for someone who's already done what you want to do, learn the skill sets and then go out on your own. But I digress.
yes, yes. Which kind of just trial by fire here, just figuring it all out. As
Hey,
a
I think
very
I
good
think
friend
you've
to me
done pretty
told me,
well figuring it out.
yeah, I mean, I kind of try not to give myself much of a choice, but a friend of mine, wise beyond his years, really, really good friend, he told me it's like drinking from a fire hydrant.
Yep.
That is the most accurate representation. But with like media, and it's not that a person is shortcutting the path. It's how can I get there as efficiently as possible? Why
And
would
you're
you want to spend
you're
10 years doing something if you can do it in, 2 to 4 years, maybe even five?
and you're leveraging people's
So with
attention
that being
where it's
said,
at.
yeah, I mean, we're going to touch on all this stuff. So with that being said, some fella reached out to me with Town Square. Everyone knows this. I mean, Town Square, big, big, big operation, right?
Oh yeah.
And it
Big cold,
just
big cold calling
it
operation.
wasn't bad, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't for me. So at that point in time, I'd seen this other establishment, and that's where I had uh, met Giuseppe. This is further down the road. So we, went with this other establishment, did, Facebook marketing, and I'm, kind of keeping in the back of my head that, as we're kind of going along, I don't know how to put it, but we're running these ads pretty heavy on the AI integration because this is at the time where it was so new that if you got on it right away, people think like, wow, this is the greatest ad, the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yep.
But it didn't take long for everyone else to catch on to it, and then it just looked like, pardon me, but just like watered down a crappy advertisement where no one really put the time into it. And then, some pictures that were being used, they weren't even my pictures. And I kind of had a little bit of a problem with that. Just
Yeah.
me, like my machines are yellow and black. And this ad's got an orange machine, and I show up to a potential job site, and they're like, "Man, it doesn't really look like what was in the video or photo." That's just those are things I think about because I think integrity and honesty goes along. Devil's in the details. It really is. And so then we did some SEO stuff. The Facebook wasn't panning out, changes were happening within Facebook, and there wasn't any money to be made. So let's just put you on a monthly retainer and basically do nothing and just say we're doing SEO for you. And keep in mind, I'm working a day job. And I think this SEO is like $1,300 a month. And some of you people are thinking like, oh, wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's like Monday morning at 7:30 when you're running equipment. That's just money is disposable. I'm sorry. Um, and remember, like there's these jobs I'm going out, I'm losing like gaggles of money trying to figure this stuff out. And then ooh, like in this establishment, keep in mind, like that was the last bit of money I had in my business checking account. I'm like, oh, Hail Mary, let's what's the worst thing that could happen? So, and I just wasn't satisfied. I mean, I just really felt like I was throwing a lot of money in the wind for nothing.
Yeah.
The leads were horrible. I mean, it's not like they got to be $100,000 job off the rip, but it's, hey, I've got a sidewalk I need the brush cut on, or just stupid stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not, I'm rolling down the road at like, 35,000 pounds. Like, I'm not coming to trim a couple bushes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, and then our friend here, Giuseppe, this is, like 6, 8 months into it, and I get this call from Giuseppe. I talked to him once with this establishment, and he starts asking me some questions and basically verbally backed me into a corner and I could not escape from, because Giuseppe is really good at what he does, finding out pain points, um, being a good salesman. And I've told people even long before this, like, I'm a sucker for a good salesman, because they'll just figure out what you need, what they can do to benefit you. And yeah, and that's right where he had me. I got on a Zoom meeting, and then like a day later, I canceled, um, homeboy with Operation One, and then got on board with Giuseppe with who he was with at that time. And things were going really good. I mean, I had no complaints. We are doing, Zoom meetings, and, and it wasn't just like, pardon, advertising. How are you talking to clients? I mean, it was more like business development, if you will, and um, advertising was a small part of it. Well, I mean, we doing like the whole rigmarole on this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I get it, and at so I was with Giuseppe with this entity, and then I got the courage. I left my day job, so kind of, heavily relying on his help to like kind of navigate through these waters, and then I get this text on my phone. And it was like, hey, I'm no longer with XYZ outfit. Please contact this number, and they'll get you taken care of. And keep in mind, I went with Giuseppe from one place to another. And I think if we look back, my response was, "Where are we going?" Because like I'm loyal to the game.
Which is respect, bro.
Lo-
Which
Loyalty
is
runs deep,
respect.
dude. But like at the same time, like I'm nearly having like an internal freaking panic at the same time. Like, leave my day job, 3 kids, a stay-at-home wife. My marketing guy pretty much tells me to take the bus to school today. Like, not good. Not good. But I'm like, you know what? It's gonna work out. Like, I knew it was gonna work out in the end. And then it was, do you have WhatsApp? Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll fire it up. And so we got on a call, and it's like the show was gonna go on regardless of where we were at and
Yeah,
who it was with. Um, and so and then the rest has kind of been history, basically. But that's kind of from one to
I love it.
three, fourth go around now.
Oh
But I
yeah.
mean, we've been together now for over a year. Well, on your own, so to
Yeah.
say. But
Oh,
no,
I
it's
love
been
it.
pretty great. I mean, I've been to he's in Chattanooga. I've been down there twice within the last 6 months,
Yeah.
and we'll be me and the whole family will be coming down. I don't know, 3 months or so, maybe
Oh yeah.
2 to 3 months. It's gonna be a good time. So, I mean, that's the kind of relationship we have. I mean, really, it started as, like transactional, like more business wise, but now it's like friendship. But the business aspect of it's just like, yeah, it's a bonus, So it works
Exactly.
out
It's just
really
extra.
good.
It's just extra. That's it. And that's a big thing that I think is a missing piece in business nowadays is building and cultivating a really good relationship with the person that you're doing business
Yes.
with. Because yes, it's always good to make money, but in a transaction like this, it's also great when your client or business partner, whoever it is also able to make money. So then you're making money, they're making money, everybody's happy. It's a great business transaction. But where I think a lot of people fall short, especially with people our age, is building and cultivating a relationship that isn't just business. Now, I will say there are instances where I know that the relationship that I have with somebody is super transactional. It's, hey, I pay you this, you do this service for me, and this is what you have. And that's fine. But relationships like mine and Joey's are super rare that come out of business, but
Yes.
also it's an amazing thing that you're able to do when you cultivate a relationship with somebody so much to where they feel like they want to come and travel to you to be able to spend time with you and your people and see how we all operate in Chattanooga. So it's honestly just been an incredible experience being able
Yeah,
to have that.
absolutely.
But
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
so now I'm curious, you have obviously all these experiences. We move from this place to that place to this place to that place,
Yeah.
obviously due to circumstances outside of my control. And that's really where I'll leave everything. What you're down to your last dollar, we're putting money into paid advertising. What made you say, okay, cool, I don't want to just do the usual door hangers, sponsor, youth baseball and softball games, and no, I want to go the route of building a brand on social media with organic content, but also running a lot of paid advertising on these platforms. Like, what was your thought process going into that? Because I know a lot of people that are probably going to be watching this are on the fence. They're like, dude, like I hear about advertising, but I've been screwed over by an agency. I've been screwed over by this person, by that person, the usual runaround. And granted, there are
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
really amazing people out there that do great work that, like outside of me, I'm not going to be biased here. There's amazing people that do great marketing
Yes.
work. But for you, what was your reasoning why you said, hey, I want to build something bigger than just door hangers and word of mouth and sponsoring a baseball or softball game here or there.
Time. It's time. It's the most valuable thing that we have,
Yeah.
but it's the one thing we basically have the least control over. And it's not that I don't want to do that stuff for the local community, but it's um as I'm sure some of the people watching this, but like I've seen it firsthand. As soon as you start making a little bit of money, I mean, not like overwhelming amounts, but people will see like, oh, well, nice truck, nice equipment, business looks like it's doing good. The sharks start circling, man. They start, you know, hey, could you sponsor us for? I mean, I can't tell you how often I get asked, hey, can you sponsor for this? Can you sponsor for that? And it's like, I mean, if I tried to help everybody, I wouldn't have anything left for myself.
Yep.
Um, so but I've done plenty of stuff for free or at, extreme bargain pricing. But, this is later down the road. But I mean, not that I want to be the biggest and baddest forestry mulching operation the world has ever seen, but a lot of these, a little bit bigger operations, I mean, look at them. They're doing advertising. They've got branded trucks, equipment. I mean, maybe not like full wraps, but I mean, you know, I think we talked about this the other day. When it comes to like logos and just everyone wants to reinvent the wheel like a machine and four machines and trees in it. If you have to even think about it for a second, it's too much. Look
Yep.
at Walmart, Target, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. Look at all their logos. They're all advertising. Like you can't forget any of those logos because they're that
Exactly.
simple.
And they're also building a
And
brand at
so,
the same time.
yeah, and say whatever you want. But Walmart's making money, Target's making money, Taco Bell's making money, and it's not bad to have a profitable business. I don't feel bad. Like I don't. You can't. Because that's why you go into business for yourself is to have more
Paperless.
leverage over your time and your money. So,
Exactly.
and it's not like and I'm not out here doing this unethically. Maybe some people do. Everyone has their own opinion though.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to wait 10 years. I had, been welding for 10 years and I just now or never. Like let's do it. Like let's go all in, 10 toes. So and that's a faster way to get, oh, that's Timberworks. I can't tell you how many times the last 6 months I've went out in town somewhere. Someone's talked to me like they've known me their entire life, and I'm like, no idea who this person is. Like, I'd seen your Facebook advertisement. Oh yeah, yeah, that was me. Well, the business, so um but I mean, it kind of fast tracking, getting a little bit more awareness out there because word of mouth it takes a lot of time, and we're in that day and age to where you're going to do it in 3 years, you're going to do it in 10. I'm going to do it in three. That's my take on it.
100%. 100%. And so, okay. So what would someone watching this right now, because you obviously know I'm going to put a very clickbaity title onto this. I have to.
Oh, yeah.
Someone watching this right now who's on the fence saying, dude, I have seen every marketing guru, business internet guru tell me that I need to run paid advertising. I need to do this. I need to do that. What is your advice to that person? Now, do you feel as though everybody should be doing it? Do you feel as though there is a specific time when people should be doing it? What would be your recommendation to somebody now that you're on the other side of you've gotten over that hump and now obviously you're
Yeah.
generating some pretty substantial revenue for an owner operator, like literally one man band, which is incredible. What is your advice to that person who's on the fence about paid advertising and Facebook/Instagram marketing in general? Because you don't only just run
Oh, yeah.
ads, you also have an incredible organic reach, which we'll get into.
Oh, yeah. Um, and I don't mean this out of any sort of arrogance, but I mean, how many people, between like, if we're having this conversation between you and I mean, how many people out there get a little bit of success with Facebook ads and they're like, I'm a marketing agency. I'm pretty sure I know probably as much or more than these people, and I'm, you know, putting just a few hours a week into, if that, right now on Facebook ads. I mean, I could just sell all the equipment and just go into marketing for myself and be probably
Oh yeah.
better off. I mean, but
And that's
people
because
get
and
some
that's how well you know it.
well, right, but also it wasn't like it happened overnight. How many meetings? How many
Dude.
hours?
Oh,
Well, how many times would we hop on a call and it'd be 9, 10 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock your time when we're going over Facebook ads. I mean, it just didn't happen overnight.
yeah.
So everyone and their brother says they run Facebook ads. Okay, let's see the proof is in the pudding. Like, what's the return on investment? Not after the first 15 minutes, but after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like that's what matters, because I could run an ad right now and my ROI is going to be through the roof with the first day. Of
Yep.
course, that's what everyone shows you. But it's the nitty gritty. I mean, we had an ad last year. I mean, that thing just would not quit. But it was just one of them that worked really good. It's not just run one ad until the end of time, because I mean, you're looking at your it's been a while, but I mean, what is it costing per lead coming in the door? I mean, you're monitoring all that, like, okay, well, is the cost per lead above that desired amount we want? Okay, if it is, what's the quality of the lead? Okay, is it dog water? Time for a new one.
Then you make the
We're
iterations.
at that point. We're at that point, but we're waiting for some things. But before we get too, off the
Yeah.
beaten path, it's not just, paid advertising. I noticed a substantial increase in just everything when my face was behind the camera. Because how many dudes out there? How many of them? You look at their page and it's just machines or a logo, but you just don't know who it is, who's running the machine. I mean, yeah, amongst the community, everyone knows, but if someone in your area has a secondary home, but they're maybe from 4 hours away, I mean, they kind of want to know who they're doing business with.
Hmm.
And also, I mean, I don't want to give away too much secret to my sauce, but I mean, people will figure it out eventually. But when they see your face on camera and then, on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and then you go and meet them in person, that barrier is already broken down just a little bit. They're a little bit more comfortable. I feel more comfortable because I know that they feel comfortable with me. It's not this awkward, just straight money transaction. Some of them are, but you get what I mean. It feels like a little bit more personable experience. So, Facebook ads, you don't have to spend a gaggle of money on there. I mean, we're $25 a day, nothing crazy. I mean, but then again, with decent ads, like last year, like I couldn't call people back fast enough.
Yeah.
But it comes and goes in waves though too. I mean, this is northern Minnesota. It's seasonal, all right. I
Seasonal
mean, that's
business.
just what it is. So
100%.
with I, I mean, when's the best time to run paid ads? yesterday, usually. I mean, I probably would get on them as fast as possible because, $25 a day, you're not breaking the bank, a couple $100 a week. I mean, let's say your average job size is 3 to 5,000 bucks. One of those, two of those a month, it's going to cover everything if you're just getting going
And then some.
for the month. You get two jobs off that a month and you're covering everything.
Yep,
Off
exactly.
the cuff. Don't pull a calculator
Yeah,
out. I
yeah.
didn't, but
No
off
financial,
the
no
cuff,
financial advice whatsoever. No
no,
guarantee.
no, no, no.
No
Spend it
guarantee.
all.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I would love to be able to toot your horn a little bit about some of the things that we were able to do last year as far as numbers go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so we now take into consideration here, northern Minnesota is a very, very seasonal area to do work. So really we started, what
Very.
was it? It was April 1st, right? Or May?
Well, that's when I bought a brand new machine. But I started, I think I left my day job March 23rd. Left my day job at noon, was working by
Yeah.
3 o'clock the same day. So
So yeah,
I'd say
the last week of March.
last last week of March, I could have gotten going sooner, but I was, working a job.
Yeah.
So
And
I'd
then
say it this year, second week April, and I'm still kind of waiting to really get going.
yeah,
So next week,
100%. And then when did we really end the season last year? Probably
the
around like
day
what?
at um
Like
last
first
week in
week of
November,
November or yeah, whatever it is, last week of November. So really, what was that? 9 months of work?
eight,
Yeah. So we're looking at
uh, April, May. Yeah, 8 months.
yeah, 8 months of work. And I just want to give you guys some statistics of what he's been able to do. So a lot of these gurus, and I hate to be like this, but I have to call some people out just generally, will always talk about their client statistics over the course of like a month or a week because that's whatever data they're able to screenshot and then they're able to show everybody to run paid ads and then they get you on their course or their agency, whatever it is. But I want to be able to aggregate pretty much a full season's worth of data working with Joey. On return on ad spend, we were able to get a 15.8 to 1 return on ad spend. So for anybody who doesn't know what that
Hmm.
means, that is for every dollar that Joey put into advertising, he averaged $15.80. Not over the course of a week or a month or 3 months, over the course of an
The
entire season's
year,
worth of work. It was a
the year,
$15.80
people.
for every dollar. We not only did that, but we also increased his close rate significantly. So one of the things that we worked on, that's what Joey was talking about, is not just paid advertising, because at the end of the day, your marketing and your sales needs to have a constant feedback loop. So one thing we did work on also was allowing Joey to understand how to overcome objections whenever you get them, whenever you're at an in-person estimate, and how to close deals better. So that's another thing we worked on. So we definitely increased his close rate by, I would say, at least 30-40%. Now he's being able to
Right.
increase his prices. Now, as far as revenue goes, is it okay if I share that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Perfect.
I
So
do and I don't, but
he was
yeah, go ahead.
creeping on $350,000 in gross revenue. Now, granted, that's gross revenue, and as Joey will tell you, he is in a very high liability business. There's just a lot of repairs, a
Yes.
lot of breaks, a lot of things that go on. But as far as revenue goes, that's where he was at. So to give you again some context, one man band, owner operator, going to the estimates, doing the marketing with me, going to the sales meetings, closing deals, doing the work, everything. Those were the numbers that we were able to achieve. Again, not over a month, not over 3 months, over a whole entire
eight
year's worth
months.
of work. So I want to be you to be able to, toot your own horn a little bit. I wanted to as well because what have been able to do over the course of a year is what a lot of people are not able to do. But it's because you took risk, you listened, you implemented, and just stuck to the plan with paid advertising
And
and organic on top of building out your sales process really well. So again, just want to be able to toot your own horn there.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it sounds fantastic, right? But I'm sure, like I've talked with you, but I mean, I'm man enough to say it. There were a lot of teared filled nights where I was pretty much crying like a little kid. And my wife had me in my arms and she said, you just got to keep going.
Yep.
It's going to be fine. And But I mean, that's what it takes. I mean, the first I left my day job, I was doing 120,000 to 180,000 a year, pension, 401k benefits, vacation, the whole nine. And I said, see ya. And I just had a delusional amount of faith and optimism. I mean, you have to. If it's if people don't think you're absolutely out of your mind, then you don't believe it enough.
I agree.
Because and it's not like everybody says that, but I mean, you know, it has to kind of look like that from the outside. Otherwise, you just won't make it. I mean, so the first job I went out on, actually it would have been the third one, so but it was within the same week. First week being self-employed, machine is down in the shop. I'm like, yeah, this isn't shaping up to work out too good for me. And so I'd been thinking about a brand new machine, been really thinking about it, but I'm like, oh man, 2 grand a month on the payment is a lot. I'm like, but what pushed me over the edge was I missed a job just a couple miles from my house. It was like a $2,500 job. Like if I had a brand new machine, I could have done that job. And that was the payment, the fuel, you know. I mean, I that same day, I'm coming. Get me
Yeah.
the check. We're getting a brand new baby. We're getting a brand new car, smell, the whole nine.
Oh
And
yeah.
but like that was a hard decision to make. I mean, that's a given like my
A lot
upbringing
of
and
money.
stuff. I mean that it is a lot of money. It is. But when you miss 2 weeks of work, I mean, 2 grand is nothing. It's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm sure some of these people are thinking they're hearing all this money. It's like, well, I'm spending 100 to, well, I mean, right now, I mean, I haven't really been out fully running with these fuel prices, but I mean, you're spending several hundreds of dollars a day in fuel, DEF, grease, tea. I mean, you're spending a lot of money every single day, but that's just what it takes. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's been hard. I mean, I've sacrificed a lot of time, but I didn't have to work all winter long. I spent it with my kids. I mean, I've got kids I kind of want to get to know. I mean, the amount of time I spent with them this last winter, it's like my oldest, she's 4. Last 4 months, I mean, I've been doing stuff, but not working in the cab. But that time I've spent with her in the last 4 months is more than all the other time in her life before combined. What's that worth?
Exactly.
Most people, the time I spent with her in the last 4 months, people probably don't even spend that much time with their kids in 18 years.
You're right. And that's a big thing that I don't think a lot of people think about is when you're getting into business, you have to understand what your why is. So for someone like Joey, his why was being able to obviously support his family, build his dreams, but also be able to spend more time with his family. Time is everything. So that's one thing that I preach significantly is if you're getting into business, you're not working to be able to get more money. You're working to buy your time back as quickly as humanly possible. Because again, I don't know if this is a news flash to everybody, but one day you will not be here. You will stop breathing. You will, obviously not be on Earth. And when that moment comes, you don't want to look back on your life and say, "Man, I did not take enough risk." So if you're on the fence, wanting to do a business, there is no better time to start a business because I promise you, with everything that's going on in the world between artificial intelligence, between mass layoffs, between technology getting more advanced than it ever has been in human history, there is no better time to be able to utilize the tools that are in front of you to build a business, to be able to create wealth. And that way you could just have all the time that you want with your family, with your friends, with the people that you love. That is the number one thing that I work for. I know it's the number one thing that Joey works for is just getting time back with the people that you love and you care about.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm kind of doing it to have some of them toys too in the future. I mean,
Yeah, but
we all are. I mean,
that's a
it's just the fruit
secondary.
to your labor.
And also, that's not something that you're not working, and that doesn't drive you to wake up every single morning to go and get it so you could buy a cool truck or a cool car. That's not the true why.
Yeah,
That's
right, right.
obviously a byproduct of being able to see the fruits of your labor, but that's not the purpose. That's not what gets you up. So here's my next
Yeah,
question for you then.
absolutely. I think probably, yeah.
Go ahead. You were gonna say?
No, no, you lagged out a little bit there.
You got me?
Go ahead.
Cool. So you obviously know marketing, and then something we haven't told
Yeah.
you guys is that he's also generated over 7.5 million views over the last year on his organic. So he knows organic content really well. He understands paid advertising well. We've worked together for well over a year now. Why do we still continue to work together when you know everything? You know how this stuff works. So why are we still working together in a business capacity?
Um, well, here's the thing. I don't know everything. I don't. But I just with the way my mind works, I mean, I kind of got a bag of squirrels running around up here. So I think I probably need it maybe for a little bit more accountability, but it's just with everything it takes, like I feel like it's probably just a little bit too much and just, having business strategy. Because I mean, what I think is a good idea in my own brain, I can ask Giuseppe and he's like, if I'm being honest, I think it's, kind of stupid or you're out of your mind. He doesn't say it that way, but it's like, I mean, it sounds great, but in the real world.
Yeah,
So, the not only the friendship, but like, the consulting aspect of it. Like I'm kind of thinking about this, doing this and that. I mean, it's to me, it's invaluable. Like, hey, I have these marketing ideas. What should we do here? Like, let's just wait until this time in the year. We'll give it a go once the money is rolling in. And I just think that to get to where I want to be, I can't do it by myself. I can't. With having stay-at-home wife, three kids, running a, trying to run a business. I mean, it's a lot. It's not for the faint of heart. And it's just nice to have someone there to, really kind of keep me on the straight and narrow, but, just to continue developing and, pushing the needle further. I mean, because Giuseppe knows, I mean, I'm just kind of not the person that gets to a spot and it's like, what, I'm good. No. All right. Before we're even there, what's next? And that's, and we'll be touching on that here shortly too. So, but I feel like you know, I know everything. I don't. You're the computer guy. You know all this stuff. That's your bread and butter. For me, it's, being in a machine, meeting people, talking to people. Obviously now being in front of a camera, making people laugh. I mean, that's what I'm good at. And I'm a firm believer in specialties. That's
100%.
that's his specialty and this is mine. What can we do together to both make us money?
I love it.
That's my philosophy on it, I guess.
I appreciate that, dude. And like you said, yes, you don't maybe know everything, but you do know probably more than people who are selling marketing courses, which is kind of funny and ironic. But
Yeah,
nonetheless,
right, right.
an incredible journey this far. So that gets me into, we've talked about your past, we've talked about your present, now future plans. Now, this isn't really for the marketing guys who are watching this. This is more for the trades guys who love the machines and want to hear about this technical stuff. So you do have a new machine that's coming to the fleet pretty soon here. So I want you to give a
Yes.
little bit of context as to what you're bringing to Minnesota, why you're bringing it, and what type of person this would really help.
Yes. So I'll provide a little bit of context, so you know, my business Timber Works, pretty much all forestry mulching. Forestry mulching, land transformation, started with a brush cutter, got a drum mulcher. Then I actually have the probably one of one in the entire US. Hydro axe tree shear I converted to run on a skid steer. I did a bunch of work to that. It's always if someone sees it on a trailer or a video, they're like, "What the f is that thing?" Because it is sweet. So, I mean, I can go take a 12, up to a 16-inch tree and carry it wherever I want, throw it in a pile, whatever. So people are always just like, they're just amazed. But
Yeah.
I mean, that attachment's like 40 years old, but just seeing it on something so small, they're like, that's just amazing. Then I got a stump grinder, and I just really seen that I'm like, for these yards, people doing yard expansions. I'm sorry, but yard expansions when they're 4 to 8 inches deep in mulch. I mean, yeah, okay, say whatever you want. You're growing grass in it, but is it as nice as being bare dirt and sprinkling some seed down? It's not. I mean, Giuseppe, he lives in an apartment. He's a computer guy. I mean, I grew up out on 40 acres, and I mean, he knows that. This is outdoor 101 stuff here. So I'd been doing these projects where I come in and shear the trees, put them off in the woods, put them in a pile, come and grind the stumps out, and then I come back and mulch the whole yard. And I just seen there were people that value their yards. You could tell like it got them closer to where they wanted to be, but I mean, that's not a finished yard. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's just not. And I'm just like, man, so me and my bag of squirrels in my brain, just watching YouTube videos, looking at this, looking at that, because I always compare machine specs and this and that. Someday it'd be cool to have. It's a problem, but that also got me here too.
Yeah.
So I'd seen this thing. It's called a subsoil mulcher, and as you know, there's a lot of skepticism out there. I'm getting skun alive on Facebook right now. It's pretty remarkable. But so this attachment came over from Europe and it's in the States now. There's other ones out there. I mean, FAE, SEPI, Mary Crusher, Macom, but that's all like huge scale stuff. Um, this is not a stone crusher. It's not a stone crusher. So this thing grinds, up to 8 to 10 inches deep. Anyone with practical thinking knows that that's not always the case, given your conditions. So you're going 8 to 10 inches deep. You're grinding stumps, roots, small rocks. It doesn't care for metal. So I mean, compared to a regular mulcher, it's a really sad day when you get into some metal or rocks. So up to 6 to 8 inch for maximum efficiency. You're grinding it from standing. You just push it over, and you're putting it right into the dirt. So that's where, these yard expansions, maybe these future build sites. Yes, I get it. You can't build a house on it, but you're doing the excavation. Like, come on, people, let's think a little bit here. But I know plenty of dirt work guys. They're like, man, if you could just come through and take care of all of this, so when we push the topsoil up, we don't have all this junk we got to haul off, or vice versa. It's pretty clean soil. I mean, I got on it. I drove 4 hours to the airport, got an airplane, two airplanes actually, because I lay over. Giuseppe picked me up in Chattanooga. We together went to North Carolina to see this thing in person. I'm not going that far for snake oil. And Giuseppe's seen it. This thing is the real deal. This thing is the real deal. I think, at least from what I was told, I'll be the 15th one in the States to have one. Don't quote me, but there's just a lot of skepticism. My mulcher can do that. My Harley rake can do that. I'm sorry, it can't. It just can't. So I mean, with what I'll be able to offer, I can show up with one truck, one trailer, a couple of attachments, and you're literally going from forest to lawn. And depending on the market response, um, we would offer seeding too. So I mean, you're going from not only forest to seed ready. No, we're there, forest seeded. It's a done deal. Of course, these larger parcels, when I'm talking larger, 20, 30, 50 acres. Yeah, this machine will do it. It's going to take a while, but then again, that it's not really designed for that.
Yeah.
Smaller, 1 to 5 acres. So that's what we're bringing to northern Minnesota. And the thing's got a disgusting amount of viewership. It's unbelievable. People from all over the place. I had a lot of people asking like when it's going to be here. They want to see it, but the people that see value in it. I mean, I've already had people text me, previous customers like, yeah, put me on the list. We'll talk about it later. Like we want that because for what we have going on. Like we don't want the mulch left over. We don't want the stumps. I mean, of course, a big pine stump that's this big around, there's probably still going to be some roots in there, but I mean, there's always a little bit left in there, even if you grub it. I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, that's what we're bringing here to northern Minnesota. I mean, we've already probably got like a month's worth of work, give or take, for it. Or well, we've got enough to where it's like I am kind of afraid to be selling any more because I haven't even run this thing on my machine yet. So
It's going to be awesome though.
yeah, no, it's gonna be yeah. I mean, it's gonna be unbelievable. It's and of course, you're wondering. I've had plenty of people say, "Oh, I just charge the same amount as mulching." I'm like, well, good for you because I am not. Because when you're delivering a more value, the cost needs to reflect it.
100%.
And if I'm making more money and I'm happy and the customer's happy because they're getting more, it's a win for everybody. And but then again, this isn't the one thing that does it all. Like big, huge trees, I mean, you still have to do it the old fashioned way. This is for the smaller stuff that sucks to do the old fashioned way.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
my opinion. Take it or leave it, but the proof is going to be in the pudding. So
You're right.
that's all I got to say.
I want to be able to end this with a question, and I want you to be able to give advice to this specific type of person. Someone's watching this, and they are now fully convinced of, paid advertising, building a brand, posting organic content. When it comes to organic content and then also to paid advertising, someone's about to jump in and start posting on Instagram, Facebook organic, and start running paid ads. What advice would you have for them if they're about to start?
So if you can believe it, I have a really good situation here. I actually run into a couple weeks ago. So, just a few months ago, I had like 700 followers on Facebook. You know what? A lot of local people. But then my face is in front of the camera, posting machine videos, some action shots, and I was just being me. You could ask pretty much anybody that's seen those videos and has seen me in person. I'm the same guy. So someone reached out and said, "Hey, what do you do to get 700 followers to 3,000 overnight?" Because I mean, it was literally like a matter of just a few weeks. It shot up. And this is my response. It's the byproduct of doing this every single day for 8 months straight. I mean, I think I posted 6 times a week, maybe five, but I mean, a lot. And I did that and I'm still doing it. And now I'm, over 7,000. And then I'd seen the same guy like literally copy some of my scripting word for word. And it's like, bless his heart for trying, but he would probably have more success being who he is than trying to copy someone else. And like, I'm just being who I am, and people are just apparently they're along for the ride. So just being true to who you are and then don't change it because some of these videos, one of them's almost 3 million views, and it's easy, like I can see it'd be easy to get caught up in that trap of just going for viewership and saying whatever, but like I just stay true to who I am. I do the best I can. Of course we're all doing a little clickbait out there, you gotta, I mean, we're human, right?
100%.
But stay true to who you are, and you will probably have more success that way than trying to do something exactly like somebody else. So be different, but just stay true to who you are.
I love it.
And you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't. Just be who you are.
That's great advice. Well, perfect, brother. Well, I appreciate you hopping on here. Appreciate you doing this with us. Obviously, I know you're a super busy guy, but if people do want to follow along on the journey, if they're local, not local, where can everybody find you on Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, so it's Timber Works LLC. Hard to miss. It's just a big TW for the logo, just like that. Easy to remember. I mean, you'll see some wood chips flying and you'll see this mustache on there, so you won't forget it. I hope not.
I love it, brother. Well, perfect. Once again, I appreciate you hopping on, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again very, very soon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anytime.